Hey guys, what's going on? Joel Pal CHH here. So for the third year in a row now, we have gotten a brand new Scream 4K release. And that release this year is Scream 3. Now, as you'll notice, my background is burnt red because this 4K release is a nice, bright red. And I kind of like it, to be honest with you. It's a nice little change of pace. So, with what happened with all this, it was very interesting. So basically, it looked like Paramount bought the rights to these old Scream films and future Scream films. So 2 years ago, we were welcomed with this brand new 4K of Scream, which I ended up really loving this transfer. It was really good. It was a really great transfer. And so the following year, we got, I think this is probably the best artwork out of the three. I really like Scream 2's. We got this. And they actually did put the Blu-ray on this one, which was interesting, considering it was not on the 4K release for Part 1, it looked like. And now we get Scream 3, which, again, does not have Blu-ray, that is. So with Scream 3, I was really excited about this one because I actually have become a bigger fan of Scream 3. I think this one kind of has the most fun and kind of takes the piss out of itself a little bit more because it gets really silly in ways with the actors talking to the people that they're acting as and things like that when they all get to the set of the movies and everything. There's actually some really exciting situations in 3, I think, and I actually really like Sydney in this one. I like that was it a woman's crisis center that she was like calling for? I like that she's living it made sense to me. Like I would live off the grid in the woods with double bolts on my doors and things like that. So like that element, I was like, I kind of like this. But what really sold me was becoming a bigger horror fan and getting into the Roger Corman films and getting into Lance Henriksen, who's one of my favorite actors of all time. He's done some of my all-time favorite movies. Seeing him in Scream 3, it's just like, oh God, you know what? How can I really dislike this movie? So needless to say, I've become a bigger fan of Scream 3. I actually prefer it I prefer it over, let's just say I do prefer Scream 3 over some sequels. I'll put it to you like that. Yeah, I've really grown to enjoy Scream 3. And so, look, put it to you like this. So when Scream came out, I was very impressed with the 4K. The quote that I used was, the Scream 4K puts the 90s back in Scream because it looked like beautiful, beautiful film. There was no, like the DVDs and the Blu-rays kind of really put like a shine on the movie. So the 4K is unequivocally, if you're a physical media person and you like good natural picture quality, the 4K for Scream was unequivocally the way to go. And I was wondering what was going to happen next year with Scream 2, and I was happy to report that Scream 2 looked as good, almost an even better 4K than Scream 1 did. Now, maybe it's just that, the Scream 2 just looks really good, and it's that simple. But I was a little nervous with this, but I had a certain level of confidence with Scream 3's 4K because we saw how good the first two were. And I am so happy to report that there is such a great consistency. If you're going to watch these films, watching them, especially now, watching them on 4K, there's such a consistency with these new 4K transfers that completely obliterate the old releases. And Scream 3 looks so natural and crisp and beautiful. And I really, really love this 4K. This is one of my favorite 4Ks this year. The consistency with this upscaling of these is great with the Scream line. And I was going to show this real quick. I'll put this in. If maybe you're seeing this and you've watched my physical media reviews and maybe you're not big into physical media yet, but some of these titles you're like, you know what, I would like to own those or try those. Maybe you've got a PS5 or an Xbox Series, whatever it's called, and you have the equipment to do movies like that, but you never really got into it. And Scream Scream being the biggest franchise in the world to me at this point. You can get this. This is actually released right now, too. This is a trilogy box set of 1, 2, and 3 on 4K, and of course, it's all these releases I'm talking about. So you can get that, and that's a viable, great option. Or even if you're a big Scream fan and you want to collect the movies on physical media, like you can get that, too. So that is available, as well as, obviously, the slipcover version of Scream 3. Here's the front cover. We've got this nice red, which I like it. I really do. Then we get... You're not going anywhere, Sydney, with a little voice changer on the back. We got Miramax and Paramount logos down there. Sydney looks great on the cover. Nav Campbell, looks great on the cover right there. And even Ghostface is on the other side. I want to say, too, I really like the way Ghostface looks in 3. It's probably exactly the same as 1 and 2. But I feel like maybe the mask, it's probably the same. It's just I like the way it looks in 3, if that makes any sense. I know that sounds silly. But I think 3 ages like a pretty fine wine, in my opinion. I've really come around to it. And I was probably guilty of just not watching the film as often as I probably should have. When I say that, I mean like maybe once every, I don't know, 5-6 years at best, and then just formulating a worse opinion on it without watching it again. Guilty. I'll admit it, guilty. But becoming a bigger horror fan and falling in love with Roger Corman and falling in love with Lance Henriksen and seeing them in this movie, I fall in love with that. Let's look at the audio options, let's look at the audio setup, and then the special features, and then we'll come back. Got a pretty simple menu screen, but I'm more into the, like, let's give me like a cool piece of visual art to look at as opposed to like movie clips and stuff like that. So this is simple. I'll take it. No Scream 3 on the front either, but obviously you know that because, well, that's the damn movie you bought, isn't it? All right, we've got 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio, which was great. We've got many, 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 many different audio options, and we have a ton of subtitles too. So kudos to Paramount for that, for actually putting a lot of subtitles on there, because you don't see that a lot, I don't think, with physical media stuff. But Paramount's usually pretty good about it. And last but certainly not least, we have audio commentaries with Wes, Marianne Madalena, Patrick, deleted scenes, alternate ending, outtakes, behind the scenes, what if, music video, theatrical trailers. So guys, I mean, when it comes to Paramount and Scream, I think they're a match made in heaven. And the best thing about Paramount getting these movies is, guys, this is something you can still get. This isn't one of those day one things. Paramount doesn't make these exclusive just to Best Buy. You can, in fact, get this on Amazon, which I did. I love Paramount. They're the best big company for physical media. They don't treat you like, they treat you well as a customer. You know, if you want it, they give you the option to get it. You'll have the option to get it next week, the same as the week after that, which is great. There's no exclusivity with these Steelbooks, so you don't have to freak out about these like a lot of them. So I would give this release just based on the 4K, I would give the 4K a 9.5 out of 10. That's just a pretty flawless 4K. I think out of the 3, I'd give 2 the perfect 10, and I'd give 1 and 3 9.5s. 2, something about 2, I just think looked incredible. Like 2 looked insane, but 1 and 3 are so close to flawless too. The consistency with these 4Ks is remarkable. They did a great job. And I'm so glad that we're here, and this is the year of Scream 3's 4K. The question remains, will we get Scream 4 on 4K? I don't know, because that is the Weinstein Company and Dimension, not Miramax and Dimension. So I don't know what's going on with some of those Weinstein Company properties, obviously because of the lack of output, because, well, one of them is in jail for being a bad human being. But we don't know. And if it is, like, if it stops right there, if the Steelbooks stop right there from Paramount, I'm okay with that. I'm not the biggest Scream 4 fan, but if they do a 4K, you bet your ass I'm going to be very interested to see what they do with the image of that, and if they're going to take away all that kind of gloss to it, and if they make like a nice general 4K release for that, or a remaster, or a whatever you want to call it. And they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one for sure. But I am interested to see what happens with that. But if not, guys, having Scream 3 be the tail end of these 4Ks for the Scream films, the retro Scream films, I guess you could say I'm happy. I'm so happy with those 3. They're must-owns for physical media horror fans, because they're just, the consistency is so incredible. And what a way to top it off if this is the last one. Scream 3, guys, was another great 4K release. I'm very happy with it. It makes the film just look beautiful. And the soundtrack in 3 is really good. So, guys, did you pick up Scream 3? What are your thoughts on the film? Are you like me? Did you kind of just like not really have the best things to say about it, but then you kind of just like started watching it again, and then was like, you know what, it's actually kind of cool. And of course I love the dream sequence at the end with Sydney's mom. I just think that's so Fulci. I really like that. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this. Scream 3, I definitely recommend either the slipcover or the Steelbook release from Paramount. They did a great job, guys, and just a great trilogy on Steelbook now. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. happy early Halloween, and we'll see you guys next time. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.